Hey guys, it's Ron Newcomb here with a quick Rangers update. So I wanted to showcase a little bit to you guys, a little bit part of the team and who else we have, because the team is grand, it's big. We have a lot of professionals that I've pulled in to help tell the tale of the Rangers, and I wanted you guys to get to meet a few of them. So I also have another company with some close buddies of mine, some great storytellers. And the company is called Warpaint. And so I have on the far side David Mckenna, and in the middle there we have Jerry Mosmack. So just real quick, guys, let's just start with David. Why don't you just give a quick little rundown of, kind of what's your 9 to 5, but then what do you bring to the team of Warpaint, and then through that to the Rangers?
Absolutely. Like Ron said, my name's David Mckenna, and my day job is I'm an attorney, a partner at a law firm called Kuhn, Purnell and McKenna in Manassas, Virginia. I do basically business litigation, anything that has to do with businesses, going to court, and that's what I do on 9 to 5. The rest of the time I spend, with family, but what I write books. I write novels, have been for the last 5, 7, 8 years, something along those lines. Before that I did legal writing as well, and so I bring a bit of a fantasy, science fiction flair to novel writing, but also legal and analytical as well, as far as the company for Warpaint, now with the Rangers. And so bring all those skills to the table, as well as was the editor for some magazines and things along those lines for a while, and so bring all those skills to the table for the Rangers here in this project we're doing right now.
Yeah, man. So you've got some good writing. Obviously, you're keeping us straight and narrow with the legal stuff, and you bring a lot of storytelling capability. It's one of the things I'm excited that you're bringing with. You're working on your second novel now, right?
That's right. That's right. This one's science fiction.
Nice. I like it. We'll have to bring that one into first a comic book and second a film, because that's what Warpaint Studios is all about. So Jerry Mosmack, over to you, man. Why don't you tell people a little bit about who you are and what you do with Warpaint, and then how that parlays into the Rangers.
Sure. Well, I'm Jerry. I am the creative director at Warpaint. Like everybody else on the team right now, I have a day job as a journalist with USA Today. My title is art director. I'm currently running a visual journalism team out of the newsroom at USA Today. I'm passionate about art and storytelling and bringing the two together. At Warpaint, we've recently partnered with Rangers, as Ron mentioned, to help bring in some additional skills, some talent in the way of storyboarding, character development, storytelling, whatever we can do, whatever we can bring to the table. That's pretty much it. I love great storytelling, and I think we have one here that we're about to bring. So
yes, we are, sir. We're going to bring it, my friend. And so Jerry, you are also one of our rewards. So somebody's already scooped this up. At the $2,500 level, you get an acrylic original done by Jerry Mosmack of you, family member, a friend. It could be your son, daughter, in whatever fantasy setting you want. You could be as an orc, a ranger, and what we call a shadow elf or a dark elf, a wood elf. Jerry has a diverse background, and that's one of the rewards that you get. But Jerry also did the cool map that you see, and we're even working on a more updated map because the world has just grown so rich and in depth. And we also have all the little, many of the icons that are on the page itself that you find at on Kickstarter were done by Jerry, as well as a young lady named Claudia. She really stepped up and did some other graphics for us. And then we have our card game, which is done by Nicole, and then, of course, our man Dan Rabays. So we have a lot of artists. And one of the things that Jerry is really helping me with is really understanding the character development, who these characters are, the world itself, the mythos, as well as we're starting to get to have some fun with storyboarding. Now, Jerry, you've done some other storyboards as well. In fact, you did a few for me for Rise of the Fellowship. Speaking to, let's say, an artist, what do you do as far as storyboarding? Let's just say from a person that doesn't know anything about storyboarding, and then from an artist perspective, and then maybe even from a filmmaking perspective, what you are looking for from the director, what you need to kind of put that vision out there on paper.
Well, as you mentioned, Ron, I'm an illustrator. I'm a painter, artist. One of the rewards is going to be a custom, original acrylic painting on canvas by me. One of the things I think that we are bringing to the table, as you mentioned, is a lot of talent in the creative and artistic space there. As far as the storyboarding goes, to your specific question, you know, what we will do is, you know, again, I do this day in, day out at USA Today. We storyboard for videos, we storyboard for motion graphics, we storyboard for long-form visual storytelling on digital platforms. So it's nothing new to me. It's nothing new to our team. As you pointed out, we have other films that you produced, The Fellowship, The Fellowship. But specifically to storyboarding, you know, we're going to bring in some creative, dynamic shots, piecing it together to coherently tell a story, and that basically will be the blueprint for our shots, our video, and how we end up telling this story. But having that ability, everything, as you know, as a filmmaker, pretty much starts there. So, pardon Morris.
Yeah, no, that's all right. We, hey man, we're independent filmmakers. That's what I love about it. That's why, you know, I just got out of the gym not too long ago. I had to go to my 9 to 5. We come home. We're independents, and then
I've been painting all day.
I stay up till 12 and 1 in the morning working on the Rangers, trying to live the independent filmmaking life, you know, and that's what it's all about. And one of the things we're trying to do as independents is bring creative storytelling. We're doing it in the fantasy genre. Let me throw it over to you, David. Why do you think people are drawn into that specific genre of fantasy? Why do you think people get kind of pulled into that? You know, Lord of the Rings, that trilogy, not just The Hobbit, but the Lord of the Rings, that trilogy hit over $1 billion internationally. Why do you think people are drawn to fantasy tales?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with that people are looking for something bigger than themselves. You know, we're in a 9 to 5 day where we're going about our day and everything's pretty standard. We are going to, you know, everything is normal. We don't have a lot of danger, especially here in the United States, that we're facing every day. We don't have a lot of out of the ordinary things that happen, and everybody's looking for somebody or something that's bigger than them. And fantasy is one of the ways that is brought to light. And people can relate to that. They say, this is something that's bigger than me. This is something that is more exciting. This is something that I'm missing in my life. And it just is a way to connect to those deeper stories, those deeper truths that are out there that we all long to see or long to experience.
Yeah. We can't walk around in my battle regalia with my two-handed broadsword on my back anymore, even though in my mind I still kind of want to do that. Jerry, what do you think, bro? What do you think? Why do you think people get drawn into fantasy, that particular genre, and want to see it played out in a story form?
You know, I interviewed Stan Lee at Comic-Con for USA Today one year. And that's right, Stan Lee, the man. Interviewed him at Comic-Con.
George R. Martin, did you?
I also interviewed George R. Martin. Yes, I did.
Brought it.
Here we are, name dropping. All right. No, but Stan Lee, you know, put it the best way possible. You know, we love good stories. You know, that's what Comic-Con's all about. Whether it's video, whether it's a graphic novel, a comic book, TV series. You know, we love great stories. We love to be entertained. You know, we all work hard each day in and out, most of us do, and at the end of the day, sometimes, you know, I don't know, maybe a little escapism involved, or just want to be entertained with a good story. I myself am an extreme I think, critic when it comes to storytelling. You know, I mean, I'm hard on films. I'm really hard on films, and I just when they surprise me with something great coming out of Hollywood, or especially in the independent realm, you know, it's always just it's a good feeling. I mean, it's great. You'll go around thinking about it for days, thinking about that story. You know, it'll stay with you. You'll watch it again and again. I mean, we have those epic classics that are like that. You know, I think the fantasy genre. I think, you know, it's a space where, you know, yeah, Lord of the Rings recently just teed off and hit it with The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, or Fellowship of the Rings, and you know, but I think it's a space that's ripe. Honestly, I think there could be more. There could be a lot better. You know, in some of the interviews I know you've done, Ron, that, you know, I'm reminded of some of the greats like Willow and things like that going back. You know, but I think there could be more. I think there's a lot more. And again, it's wide open right now. The space, the industry. I mean, there's not a lot of that. We're getting Captain America coming out. A lot of Avengers. I love that stuff too. It's a great story. You know, it's fun. It's packed full of action, adventure. But yeah, it's not really happening. It's not really getting done in the fantasy space like I think it could or should be. And I know that everybody on this panel here right now shares that view.
Definitely, man. We're ready to mobilize, brother.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. I think there's tons of fans out there that are ready to mobilize, and not just themselves, but just a whole army to unleash and just consume content and be reminded of, you know, picking up the sword, be who they were born to be, all these great things that we want to be reminded of. Jerry, let me come right back to you, man. Specifically to the Rangers, right? When I kind of pitched the story to you guys, and you guys started to get like, yes, okay, I can see this. What was some of the things that you kind of liked about the Rangers that you think people are really gonna, you know, just attach themselves to and kind of get excited about? What are some little teasers that got you excited?
Oh, again, you know, going back to the genre of fantasy itself, but then you know, start to think of, okay, well, now we're really sort of focusing it to, it's not necessarily this, not that there won't be epic battle scenes, you know, again, budget permits, right? But we'll get it done one way or another. But, you know, I love the idea of this elite group focusing on these Rangers, you know, this elite warrior class, and some main key characters there, and just seeing what that's about, you know, and seeing, you know, how these guys get it done, get the job done in, you know, sometimes a grisly fashion, of course, but that, and then just the story around that, and the idea of a new world, a world that you haven't heard about yet. This is a world that we're inventing, you know, as we speak, that we're creating as we go. You know, yeah, a lot of it's there, a lot of it's in place, a lot of the building blocks, the foundation, and you know, the different kingdoms and races and things like that. But there's just, you know, what I love about it is what I love about my being in a creative position day in and day out. It's that, you know, the sky's the limit. You know, it's blue skying. You know, we're throwing it out there. We're throwing it up there, and just going to come up with some wild, crazy things. You know, for this story. It's looking forward to it. Very excited about it, actually.
Yeah, I haven't been more excited, you know, about a story in a very long time. This is one that I think people are really going to resonate with. You know, that teaser that you guys saw, that 54-minute teaser, was filmed, believe it or not, in an afternoon with a great crew. And, you know, we were professional running and gunning, but imagine what we can do if we're given the opportunity to go even further and more what we can produce. David, how about you, man? What was something specific about the Rangers' tale, this epic journey that we're unfolding for the fans? Not just to be a fan and consumer of content, but inviting them in on the journey. What was something that kind of intrigued you?
I was intrigued by where the story focuses. Focusing in on some of the Rangers, some fellows who are out there on the edge of civilization, not so much on the kings and queens that we usually see, on the people who are the most in power, but actually a couple of guys who are, well, a number of guys who are out there actually, you know, on the edge, making things safe, finding out where the danger is coming from, and then even more than that, the moral and emotional dilemmas that they get with the orders that are provided with regard to the story. I'm not going to give a whole lot of the story away with regard to that, but there's a tension there between what they're told to do and what they feel is right, and the long moral traditions of the Ranger Society. I thought that was going to make for, well, that will make for a very interesting story as it develops further, and as we put that movie out, really giving some depth to the characters as opposed to some real, you know, some of the two-dimensional fantasy characters that you get sometimes. I think we can really make a real three-dimensional people this way.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know, it's kind of like, I heard someone describe it, is it's not really focusing on Luke Skywalker so much, it's focusing on Han Solo and what that character is about. You know, it's focusing on who was the Ranger in Lord of the Rings versus just the Rangers being a part of the story in the epic journey, which was great and inspired me and you know, was phenomenal. But then we have Game of Thrones, very popular story, and it's focused on the thrones. So then you have our unique version, our unique take, and what Jerry mentioned, a completely fictitious world that we have brought to life from creation to current times. What I want to tell is not a fantasy, but the history of this world, the history of these Rangers. Who are these guys? What are they about? What are they facing? What are the odds? What are the struggles, the internal? And I just have never been more excited to present to you guys. If you guys give us the opportunity to be able to do that, we're going to bring it. You know, Jerry and David are true professionals. I'm glad they agreed to be on the team. And it just goes to show you, when you have a great project is when people start to attach themselves to the project. And the team is even bigger than us, and we want to invite you guys to be a part of that. You know, without, and it's more than just fans, you know, without fellow content creators, you don't get the opportunity to bring a story like this to life. So we're excited about the Rangers. We're ready to bring it to you, and you know, we're looking forward to mobilize and be able to do that. So, okay, that'll be it for tonight. I just wanted to give you guys an introduction to Warpaint Studios and what these guys are about and what they're bringing to the table. And that W you see on our logo, you can go check those guys out. Jerry, do you have the URL handy you can give everybody to check out?
Sure. It's Warpaint Publishers. It's not publishing. It's publishers. Yeah, that's what we have.
Yeah, .com.
.com.
Roger that. All right, so go check it out. Obviously, we've got a Facebook page over there and so forth as well. We've got another great story under Warpaint that I won't give out too much, but we've been working diligently on a graphic novel that we're excited to be able to bring you guys a little bit later that we'll be talking about. But you know, this is it, guys. We've got 9 days from tonight to make this happen. We got an uphill fight, no doubt about it, but you know, that just makes for an exciting ending, and I'm ready to bring it. So let's have some fun. Let's spread the word. And tomorrow night we're going to be back at it, and I'm going to have the actor Wolf J. Sherrill on with us if everything works out. The actor playing Lieutenant Wolf. So until then, we'll see you next time.